Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show for September 16th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden. Padres and the Diamondbacks later tonight, 6:40 is the first pitch, the same time as yesterday's game. Hopefully, today's game will end up being a different result, a better result for the Padres than yesterday's game was, obviously. Last night, facing a guy making his big league debut, and for the second time in 2 weeks, the Padres offense got shut out. It was pretty much embarrassing. The offense was flat. And Bob Melvin, I think he was perfect with his post-game comments after the game. Just talking about how team just didn't feel like they were showing fight. And obviously that's a big red flag, right? You're just fighting to get into a playoff spot, and you have to have your manager be talking to the media saying that, oh, didn't feel like we had fight tonight. That's an issue, right? So hopefully they show some fight tonight. The lineup is a little bit different than it usually is. I'll say that. I'll get to that. Pitching matchup tonight, Snell on the mound for the Padres. And then Madison Bumgarner is going to be pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks. If they get shut out by Mad Bum, I mean, I said it was embarrassing that they got shut out by Dre Jameson, whatever his name was yesterday. I mean, Madison Bumgarner, he's almost like worse than Sean Manaea. Manaea, I was encouraged by what I saw from Manaea yesterday, but like usually Manaea's low 90s. He was at like 95 yesterday. Mad Bum has nothing on his fastball, and the Padres have hit really well against him in the past. So I'm expecting runs to be scored off of Mad Bum today, but again, I was expecting runs to be scored off of Jameson yesterday, and obviously that didn't happen. But hopefully a little change in the lineup can help. Will Myers is in there after not playing yesterday. I thought it was kind of weird. I mean, I guess I expected him not to play yesterday because they were going to have Bell in there, Drury in there, Crony's obviously in there. So, Myers isn't going to play. You have Soto playing, Profar, Grisham. But today, Myers is in there. You could have made a case for him to be in there yesterday just because of how well, I guess, he's been hitting compared to everyone else. But the Padres, I think they're doing as much as they can to not sit Juan Soto. Because there's been some discussion about, should they sit Juan Soto because he's slumping so much, just give him a day off, mental day off. But at the end of the day, it's still Juan Soto. Like, I don't know. There's something about me. I just don't like even thinking about sitting Juan Soto when you have 18 games, 19 games left in the season, whatever it is. He's supposed to be one of the best hitters in baseball. I know he's not right now, but he can have that impact. And this is crunch time. Like, you need Juan Soto to start producing. The only way he can start producing, I think, is by continuing to just grind through it with these at-bats. They have plenty of off days for him to reset his mind. That obviously isn't working. You just have to keep putting him out there, I think. Blake Snell, I like what I've seen out of him since pretty much the All-Star break. His ERA is under 3. I think it's like 2.89 since the All-Star break. He's gone deeper in starts. Before the All-Star break, there was, some times where he wasn't getting out of the 6th. Getting through 6. There's still some times where he's not getting through 6. Last time out against the Dodgers, September 10th, he didn't get through 5 even. He pitched 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, walked 3 guys. That 5th inning, obviously, really down spiraled there. Wasn't consistent inside the strike zone, walking guys, and then he gave up a couple doubles, and he was out of there. But most of the time, he has been really good for the Padres. Let me check here. How many? 1, 2, 3. He's had 3 shutouts since the All-Star break. 1, 2, 3, 4 outings where he gave up only 1 run. There was an outing where he gave up only 2 runs, 5 innings. That was against the Nationals, August 19th. He's been good. I really liked how he was August 30th in San Francisco, 6 innings, no runs against the Giants, obviously, at Oracle. And then his last start against the Diamondbacks, September 5th, 6 innings, 1 run, struck out 10. I'm confident that Snell can deliver a quality start today for the Padres. I'm not really that confident that the offense can break out and score like 7 runs or something. You'd think that this is the day to do it, right? You're facing Madison Bumgarner, doesn't throw heat. He just doesn't throw gas. But I thought they were going to do something yesterday, and that didn't happen. As for Mad Bum, his last time out, 6 innings, gave up 4 runs in Colorado. It feels like he's definitely got his money, and the D-backs definitely regret this contract, I would think. Yeah, he's had some throwback performances, going 8 innings and giving up 2 runs against the Nationals in July, right out of the All-Star break. 5-inning shutout against the Nationals, or at least in terms of earned runs, April 19th. Against the Padres, gave up 1 run, 5 innings of work, June 29th. But June 22nd, he had back-to-back starts against the Padres. June 22nd, 4 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 runs in total. So hopefully that's kind of what we're going to see off of Mad Bum tonight, the Padres offense producing, because they have the guys to do it. Like that, obviously that's why it's so mind-boggling, right? Why this offense is like this, and why Juan Soto's struggling so much. And I can identify reasons why, like, you know, just undisciplined sometimes, getting out of Soto being Juan Soto, if that makes sense. Like last night in the 9th inning, pitch well outside the zone, not a pitch Juan Soto swings at. And I believe there was not 2 strikes on him. And he swung at it, just a weak ground ball, sticks his butt out, trying to get to the ball, kind of like a Hosmer swing, just a weak grounder to the pitcher. It's stuff like that. Brandon Drury swinging a pitch outside the zone. I know you're going to, and it's major league pitching and all that. But like Grisham continuing to strike out looking, stuff like that. It's just frustrating. But they do have the guys to do it. Why? Because we've seen it. We've seen Juan Soto at times with the Padres, but we've seen Juan Soto consistently with the Nationals produce as one of the best hitters in baseball. We've seen Ha-Seong Kim produce at a pretty good level this year offensively with the Padres. Last 11 games, though, he's hitting like 109. I put that out today. So they have the talent. It's on the players. They just have to go do it inside the lines. That's what it comes down to. I see Jeffrey in the chat here. Let's go Snell. Gonna need a bounce back. Interesting lineup switch for us. Yeah, so let me get to the lineup. By the way, the bullpen situation, not a whole lot to talk about. Garcia, Martinez, and Suarez all through last night. Wilson did as well. Wilson's probably not going to be available tonight, back-to-back days that he has pitched, but the other 3 should be available. Hader for a closing situation. Morahone for multiple innings probably tonight if they need him to. I'd expect him to be available. Pierce Johnson, he had the day off yesterday, so he should be good. So the bullpen's in a good situation. Getting to the Padres lineup tonight. Let me reload this page because MLB.com did not have their lineup out the last time I saw it. I did see their lineup, but last time I had the page up, they didn't have it. Okay, so Will Myers, that was kind of the change. He's leading off tonight. He's in left. So no Jerks and Profar. Got a lefty and a lefty and Mad Bum on the mound. I know Profar's a switch hitter, but they're going to have Myers. He's been hitting better as of late. They're going to have him lead off. I don't know how many times Will has led off this year. I don't think it's very many. Soto's hitting second and right. Manny is batting third, playing third. Drury's at first. So no Josh Bell either. Ha-Seong Kim is batting fifth at shortstop, despite him struggling the last 11 games or so. Jorge Alfaro is going to be DHing, so Campy's available off the bench. Nola's catching. He's hitting 8th after Crony, who's hitting 7th at second base. Jose Zocar's in center, lefty on the mound. So Grisham, the lefty, sits on the bench tonight. Not unexpected. In terms of this lineup, I know there's been I like the lineup. Um, I did see a tweet today. I forget who was by, but they were suggesting, hey, Josh Bell, he hit well, hitting behind Juan Soto in Washington. Why don't they try that? Obviously, he's not in the lineup tonight, so that obviously wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, shaking things up when things aren't working, might as well, right? Might as well try it. So I'd be fine with that. I think Will leading off is okay. I don't know how to feel about that. Will, he doesn't really strike me as a leadoff hitter, but he has been having some pretty good at bats. He's going to strike out. We know that about Will, but I like the at bats that he's had. He's had some hitting some line drives. Um, I'd be fine seeing how they. I'd be fine personally seeing if they wanted to put Soto leading off, and then maybe you have. Do you want Manny hitting second? Who would they? Maybe Crony hitting second? Or no, because then you have back-to-back lefties. Maybe you just go right out of the gate and you have like Soto leading off. You could try Myers hitting second, maybe. You'd have back-to-back righties, but Manny hitting third. Or you could go just your top heavy. I don't think this would happen, but you have Soto leading off, or Soto at least hitting second. Bell, Drury behind him, and then you let the rest of the lineup fall where it is. Maybe that happens. I'm just trying to think of different ways because obviously it's not working the way it is right now, and so they're obviously changing. They're trying to change things up, but it's not like you're bringing up players from AAA to come help guys that aren't doing it. Like this is the group of guys that they have. They just need to play better. That's what it comes down to. Jeffrey asks, do you think that the lack of discipline is due to the culture we have, though? No, I don't think so. Drury seemed like the only one who was confident yesterday. Yeah, Drury had a couple hits yesterday. He had the single up the middle, the double. I think those were two of like the only hits or something off of Jameson last night. In terms of the lack of discipline due to the culture, I don't think so. I mean, how is that? I don't even know how that can be the case. Like, so Soto changes his discipline due to him coming from the Nationals to the Padres. Like Juan Soto is who Juan Soto is. I think he's just getting out of being Juan Soto right now because he's pressing. He's in a slump. So maybe he's expanding the zone, as we saw in that ninth inning when he weakly grounded out to the pitcher. I don't think culture is the lack of discipline. Like this Padres team actually at points this year, it's been the opposite of lack of discipline. Discipline has been some of their strengths. Those long at bats, not swinging at balls. Those long at bats, when Soto first got here, right? Weren't we being positive and clamoring and we were loving having Profar and Soto back to back? Oh my gosh, these long at bats back to back, and now they have to face Manny. But that's just not happening right now. Or sometimes they are longer at bats, but they're not getting on base, so we're not really focused on, hey, at least it's a long at bat. No, we're tired of them getting out, so we don't really care that it was a long at bat, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. Jeffrey says, I'd be fine with the Zokar leading off. Yeah, I don't know if they're thinking about that, though. They probably want him more as a second leadoff guy in the 9 spot. I think if they're going to think about leading someone else off, I mean, obviously they're trying Myers tonight, but maybe they try Cronenworth. But then you're going to have back-to-back lefties if you're having Soto hit second. Maybe they want to try to avoid that. they've got to find a better leadoff hitter than Ha-Seong Kim right now. I mean, I think that's obvious, and they're probably going to stick with Profar there if Kim's not leading off when Profar is playing. But I would try something different. I'm eager. I'll tell you what. I'm eager to see how Will Myers does today, leading off. That's for sure. I'm interested in that. As for the Diamondbacks lineup, by the way, if you have any thoughts, any comments, you want to make sure that I get to it, you can support the channel, hit the dollar sign, use the super chat button there, or you can use the super thanks button on regular videos. I appreciate your support. At Talking Friars on Twitter is where I'm most active. I'm also on Instagram at Talking Friars. On Twitter, that's where the game clips are during the game, obviously. So I encourage you to give that a follow if you have not already, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, daily Padres content, if you have not already either. Um, just have an interview. I just did an interview. That episode 232, I believe, is what it is. That is out now here on this YouTube channel and on podcast platforms. I talked with Dennis Kennedy, TaylorMade Golf. I know that you might be like, wait, what? This is a Padres channel. Well, he's a Padres fan. He follows the team every day. And he has some relationships with Padres players. Jake Cronenworth is one of those. And so I thought it would be interesting to have him on. Um, I thought it was a fun conversation that we had. So you can check that out before this Padres game if you want to, or you're working in the morning tomorrow or whenever, feel free to check it out. It's on podcast platforms and obviously on this YouTube channel as well. So back to this Diamondbacks lineup. So Garrett Stone's leading, or Stone Garrett, excuse me. He's in left field. Emmanuel Rivera's DHing. Ketel Marte's at second. Christian Walker is at first base. Carson Kelly, they got him in that, I think, Arenado trade. Or Goldsmith trade, excuse me. He is going to be batting fifth catching. Dalton Varsho is in right field. He's batting sixth. Former Padres Sergio Alcantara, he's at third base, batting seventh. Corbin Carroll, the guy, one of their top prospects, might be their top prospect. He was called up, I think, a couple weeks ago. He's in center field, batting eighth. Geraldo Perdomo is at shortstop. He is batting ninth. D-backs looking for their 69th win of the year. They're 68 and 75 right now. Padres trying to get their 79th win. I thought that they'd probably trying to get to win number 80 by now, but that's just not the way it's gone. Obviously, they weren't able to win both games in Seattle and lost that Dodgers series. So that's where we stand right now. Obviously, I already kind of talked about what to watch for tonight. I'm interested in seeing how Myers does in that leadoff spot, how this new lineup does. Because I do think it's important that they need to get more or that they get more production out of that leadoff spot. And then see how Blake Snell does. Can he bounce back after having that one meltdown inning in the fifth inning against the Dodgers? Because he was pitching pretty good leading up to that fifth inning, and then when the fifth inning came, that's where obviously it went downhill. Walking guys. Walking Mookie on 4 pitches, the Trey Turner double over the middle of the plate, double to Freddie Freeman, I believe. So let's hope that he doesn't have that, one meltdown inning, because when he doesn't, he's pitching really, really well. He has that ERA under 3, I believe, in the second half of the season, or at least post All-Star break. In terms of matchups, Kim's hitting 429 off of Mad Bum, 7 at-bats. Brandon Drury, 259 with 2 bombs, 3 RBIs in 27 at-bats. Zokar, 500, only 4 at-bats, though. Profar's not in the lineup, but he was hitting 364 off of Mad Bum, so that's a little interesting. Good matchup-wise against Mad Bum, but not in the lineup. Soto has not gotten a hit yet off of Mad Bum, I believe, in his career. Is that right? Or is that just this? That's not just this season, is it? It has to be career. Man, that's surprising. I know it's lefty versus lefty, but I know Mad Bum had to face Soto at some point, you think, right? When he was a national. Interesting. So my Padre pick for tonight, I'm going to go with Manny. I was thinking about going with Will, because he's had success off of Mad Bum in his career. Obviously, first thing I think of is that home run that he hit 2019, 2018. I think it was 2019. Uh, Tatis's might have been Tatis's debut, him and Manny, and he homered to right center. Absolute bomb. On opening day, they were still wearing those the navy blue and white jerseys. I wasn't a big fan of those, by the way. With the Padres on it, just the white home. I wasn't a big fan of those. Definitely much happier with the brown and gold. But Will, 6 home runs. 6 home runs off of Mad Bum in his career. So it was between Manny or Will. I picked Manny. He has 3 home runs off of Mad Bum in his career. And yesterday I went with Brandon Drury. Got that right, obviously. Thank goodness I went with Brandon Drury because Brandon Drury was like the only guy that got a hit last night. Hassan Kim's hit was a chopper that barely went anywhere. Like hit the plate. So I'm 90 and 49 so far this season in my pregame show Padre pick. Already went over the bullpen chart. Steven Wilson's probably the only guy that's going to be down tonight. That's what I would think. In Milwaukee, they are playing the Yankees, starting up a 3-game set with the Yankees tonight. Big. This is big for the Padres, right? The Yankees, they're playing much better. They're 87 and 56 so far this season. Milwaukee is playing at home, but if the Yankees are hot and the Padres can win some games here, Padres can gain some much-needed space away from Milwaukee for that final wildcard spot. Right now, the Padres have a game-and-a-half lead on Milwaukee for that final wildcard spot. It was 2 games yesterday entering the game. Milwaukee didn't play, so they had a chance to lengthen their lead by half a game to 2.5 games. Instead, it's 1.5. So I believe Milwaukee plays more games than the Padres do down the stretch as well, so they could gain games there, half games at a time on the Padres when the Padres have off days or whatever. So obviously we're going to be looking at that Yankee-Milwaukee game. The Phillies are starting a series in Atlanta against the Braves. They won yesterday, I believe, against the Marlins. Dodgers play the Giants tonight, but no one cares because Dodgers have already clinched the division. Giants are out of it. So yeah, Yankees, Milwaukee's pretty much the matchup we're paying attention to, other than obviously this Padres game. So yeah, that's what we got going today. I'll finish off here by answering some questions in the chat or just showing some comments and giving my thoughts. Mills says, you don't think the teammates are getting mad that Soto gets to keep hitting second when he's clearly not hitting, when the rest of them get moved around when they're in a slump? That's a valid point, but the rest of them aren't Juan Soto. Like, the rest of them don't have Juan Soto's accolades, if you will, you know? Like, the players in the clubhouse know that Juan Soto is one of the best players on the planet when he's going, you know? And so it's a valid point. If you're just looking at numbers, should you move Soto down the order, shift him around? That's very valid. But in terms of teammates getting mad that he's still hitting second, I don't think they're mad about that. I think they realize who Juan Soto is. They probably see all the work that he's doing behind the scenes in the cages and stuff, and that he's pissed off. So they're probably just like, hey, let's get it going. Like, I personally don't buy that teammates would get mad about Soto continuing to hit second, to be honest. He's one of the leaders of the team, and the Padres are going to get where they want to go if Juan Soto is playing really, really well. And only if he's not playing well, the rest of the lineup, I guess, is consistent, then maybe. But, I mean, Soto has the Manny Machado impact when he's on, you know? That's what made this lineup so deadly, right? We were like, even without Tatis, if Manny and Soto are hitting well, that is so huge for this team. just offensive production, just them two. Obviously, you want the rest of the lineup too. JD's third says Soto should be benched for a game. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Stop babying Soto. Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying there with if nothing changes, nothing changes. Um, but again, benching him, that's not going to help him, I don't think, get out of a slump. Like he's had plenty of off days to reset his mind and or go to the Seahawks game Monday. That's not working. The way he's going to get out of it is by getting some hits in games, getting that confidence back. Just finding it in the game. That's the way that he's going to find it. So benching him, I don't think solves anything. JD's third says Bomel looked lost and sounded clueless yesterday, totally in over his head and has lost the clubhouse. Strange it's happened 2 years in a row. Okay, I disagree with him losing the clubhouse. We don't have any proof that he's lost the clubhouse. Last year we had proof because there were leaks from players inside the clubhouse saying that Tingler had lost the clubhouse. Bomel hasn't lost the clubhouse. There's been no indication of that. And about the clueless part, well, what is he supposed to say? Like, reporters ask him daily after these Padres losses and the offense comes flat, after they come up flat or they don't come through. He's asked by Kevin Acee, what's wrong? What happened there? How can you explain this offense? What is he supposed to do? He can't explain it either because it's a bunch of talented guys just not performing up to their expectations. That's what it is. So I don't fault Bomel for, if you think, sounding clueless. Okay. Like, we would all sound clueless if we were in that manager chair being asked by AC and Dennis Lin what's going on. Because we don't know either. That's the thing. All I would say, if I was Bomel and they asked me, how can you explain this? Kevin, I can't really explain this. Look at the box score. We're not playing good enough. We have to play better. That's what I would say. Like, that's all I can say. If it was easy to explain or they knew what was going wrong or they knew how to fix it, it would have already been fixed. What, you think this team wants to get shut out by guys making their big league debuts twice in a 2-week span? No. They just got to play better. Jeffrey's going with Soto as his pick. Breakout game got to happen at some point, right? I would think. That's what I keep banking on. I'm not going to give up on him until Padres are eliminated from playoff contention. I believe in the talent. This isn't Eric Hosmer who's out of his prime. This guy's, 23 years old? He's right in the middle of it. It's just a bizarre slump that he's in. JT says, why not try Campy at DH and not Alfaro? That's interesting as well. I don't know. I guess see how Alfaro does tonight. Maybe they like the matchups better. They're both righties, so I don't know. Maybe they see something behind the scenes that we don't, that they're not confident in Campy against Mad Bum. Never faced him before. Alfaro's hitting 333 off Mad Bum with a bomb, so maybe there's that. I don't know. JD's third says, so it's nobody's fault and nothing will ever change and we are all okay with this. Okay, Ben. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it is the players' fault. The players have to play better. It's not Bomel's fault that the players aren't hitting. It's not AJ Preller's fault that the players that he acquired, that we all praised him for acquiring, aren't hitting. It's not their fault. It's the players' fault. It isn't nobody's fault. It is the players' fault. I'm surprised you haven't understood what I'm saying yet. The players are at fault. They have to play better. End of story. All right, 6:40 is the first pitch. Padres D-backs at Talking Friars on Twitter for the in-game clips. Padres looking for 79 wins this year. That's what they're hoping to be at by the end of tonight. We'll see. Go Padres. Ben Fadden signing off. See ya.